Radiant Black, issue number 37 from Image Comics. So this issue is weird. Like, I don't really even know what's going on with the series anymore. It starts off with Saitomi, aka Radiant Red, and she's in bed with Guy, aka Shift, and apparently they're a couple now. How that has happened, I have no idea because it was never shown why they became a couple. They just became a couple off screen, which is stupid. I hate this character. I hate Shift so much. And Saitomi started off really terrible. Then she got a little bit more likable. Now she's just terrible again. And I'll get into more why later on. Marshall notices that there's a bunch of guards around keeping the law, and something about that triggers him to become Radiant Black, and he just starts flying overhead. And then we get some new superheroes who are using social media, like I guess they're streaming like on TikTok or something, and they're like, for a dono, we can make a crazy sound for $10. I'll knock this guy's head into the side of this truck. And the way that they talk, it sounds like an old white guy trying to do dialogue for a young black guy and just completely messing up. Like the way these characters talk, it doesn't even sound normal. I'm saying you finna put a F word in a S word can, nephew. Pulse grouch me up. I put it some style on ya. He's charged. What the hell does that mean? And that becomes like a running gag where later on they're talking to someone and they're like, I have no idea what you're saying. And that's kind of how I feel like, what's going on in this series, man? But this guy shows up and he's Jack Marlowe, and he's the dude who's running the guards that are like around the city, like all the guards that are around trying to keep crime in check. They're going around like rounding up a bunch of criminals. And then Marshall shows up, he's like Goontog fascist. And I'm like, dude, they're literally arresting criminals. How is that fascism? It's not fascism to round up actual criminals. Like if they were just rounding people up who disagreed with them or whatever and weren't doing any crimes, okay. But these guys are literally criminals. They're literally caught in the act of crime. And they're being rounded up. That's not fascism. But then we get one of the crazy dudes who thinks that there's portals in the donut shops, and the portals are connected to the other world, and that's where people coming in. I thought the other world got destroyed. I know Chicago got destroyed, but didn't the other world in general get destroyed? Didn't Marshall end up basically destroying that entire world? And that's why during the Catalyst event, they had to bring in a bunch of refugees. But I guess the planet is still alive. Like there's still people there and they're coming into this world. And that's when Saitomi and Shift show up and they start killing this resistance group. And no, they're not like arresting them or anything. They're literally killing them. They're stabbing them in the chest. They're breaking necks and stuff. Like they're just killing these people. And after they end up killing the leader of this group, that's when the quote-unquote fascist guards show up with Marshall. And Marshall tries to ask them, like, hey, what's going on? And Saitomi totally brushes him off. Basically says, this is green and red light territory. You're not wanted. You're not welcome. You're not needed. Get the F out of here. So Saitomi is now totally against Marshall. What's going on here? I feel like we're missing something. When did Saitomi become evil again? And that's what I'm going to say. I'm saying they're evil. Or at least she's an evil friend. Like, how can you just completely side with someone who has an evil past, and now you're lovers, and now you're taking over territories as some kind of weird gang leader, and you're not going to allow your fellow Radiant team member to get involved? You're not going to allow him to like, even catch him up on the situation? You're just like, yeah, you're not wanted, you're not needed, get the hell out of here. This is our territory now. What's going on here? There's more. I don't want to like spoil the rest. I covered like half the issue. I have no idea what the hell's going on in this series anymore. We went from like the Catalyst War, and then we had what feels like a couple of filler. Like we had stuff with Marshall and Rogue Sun teaming up to fight Wolf Blood, and then we had that issue where it was like, this new lady gets the Radiant Yellow powers, and she's probably dead now. And I enjoyed that issue, but I feel like that was filler. And now we're jumping into a storyline that we didn't get any build up to. I would have liked to see Saitomi and Shift and how they became together. I know that Saitomi saved a version of Shift during the big event, but how did that go from her reluctantly saving this dude to now they're lovers? When did they become gang leaders and have their own territory? When did she become so hateful towards Marshall? When did like any of this happen? It feels like we skipped a bunch of issues and we're just jumping in like the deep end. And maybe Kyle Higgins is going to do like flashbacks leading up to this moment. But I don't know. I'm not really feeling this so far. I don't really care where this is going. What happened to Jaeger? Did we just completely drop that storyline? Because it looks like we're going to have a new villain. And that's part of the later half that I'm not covering. But it looks like we're setting up for a new rival for Marshall, a new villain. So, I don't know, it feels like we're just kind of jumping around in terms of the storyline. We're cutting things, we're not showing things, we're introducing new things, but we're just kind of jumping right into them without any build up to them. Maybe the next few issues will fix this, and we'll see like flashbacks, and we'll see how all this led up. And this is kind of like the in media res, where like we're going to throw you into something, and you're not going to fully understand what's going on. And then we're going to cut, like the next few issues are going to cut to a flashback. The next few issues are just going to be that flashback building up to where we are now. Maybe that's what we're going to do, in which case, okay, that could work. But I can't judge this issue for what it might be. I have to judge it for what it is right now. And what it is right now is just a confusing, convoluted mess that I'm not really feeling at the moment. But maybe the next few issues will change that opinion. I hope it does. Like, I've enjoyed Radiant Black for the most part. It's had its up and downs, like a lot of other series in the Massiverse. But all in all, I've been enjoying it. I wouldn't have gone this far if I hated it. But, yeah, this issue, I'm not feeling it. This issue I didn't care for. But maybe my mind will change with the next few issues. I guess we'll see. But that's Radiant Black, issue number 37 from Image. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.